lately I've been trying to reduce my personal inventory because I do think I have a lot of stuff. So like usual, I hopped onto YouTube for a little minimalist inspiration, and I found the video with the guy who only has 50 items in his possession. And I think that's, cool and all, but I don't think that's realistic or really sustainable for someone like me, and probably for someone like the rest of you or the general population. So with that in mind, I kind of created my own 3 steps or 3 questions that I've been asking myself while trying to decide whether or not to keep certain items. And hopefully if you follow these 3 steps, you'll be able to, reduce your stuff, become a little happier, be a little more environmentally responsible, and, just be a little more conscious on the impact that you're making as a human being on this great planet Earth that we live on. So, before I say anything else, I will say that I do not consider myself a minimalist right now. I still have too many things that I need to sort through, nor do I proclaim that I know what being a true minimalist is. But I will say my definition of being a minimalist is someone who is conscious of the stuff that they buy, how they use it, and how those things impact their life and the lives of the people around them. So based on that definition and the 3 steps that I've been talking about, let's start with step or question number 1. All right, so step or question 1 is asking yourself, do I use this? And I think a good example for me is looking at kind of all the electronics that I have. So for example, I have my laptop. I use it every day, so I don't really feel bad that I have this. I have an iPad that my school required me to get. I don't really like having it, I don't really use it, but I needed it for school, thus it was kind of a must-have. I have my iPod Nano that I have when I lift and I run, just because I don't like being distracted when I work out. I have my iPhone that I use for, phone business and stuff. I have a GoPro that I'm using for different running shots that I hope to show more on this channel. And, I have a Suunto running watch that I use whenever I work out, just because I like seeing the different analytics of my different runs. So obviously, compared to a traditional minimalist, I do have way more electronics than one would normally have, but I do use pretty much every one of those items on a daily or at least weekly basis. So going by my definition of do I use this, those are all reasonable items for me to have in my possession. And for unreasonable, let's talk about all of my clothes that I have. Now, I hesitated showing this because I think a bunch of you minimalists will probably have a huge heart attack, but I know I have a shit ton of clothes in my closet, like a ton. And this isn't even the tip of the iceberg. Like, this is just what I have here. I have more in this box that I brought up from LA, and I still got a bunch in LA in my closet that I still need to sort through. So really, it's a work in progress, and honestly, a week ago, I got rid of a huge heap of clothes already. So this is the whittled down version for me. But kind of going off that first step of asking, do I need this? For example, I have all these workout clothes right here that, like I said, I like to work out a lot, so these are all stuff that's useful for me to have. I have a lot of work shirts over here, and I needed those when I worked as a physical therapy aide and as a personal trainer. And I'll probably need them when I'm working as a physical therapist, so it's good that I'm keeping them. Now, all these shirts and sweatshirts that I don't really wear, that's a different story. So maybe when I whittle down my stuff a little more, I'll post an update of my slimmer looking closet for all of you guys. Let's talk about nutrition for me. I am not a vegetarian or a vegan. I do consume a lot of food, so I guess I'm not really a minimalist in that sense, but I eat everything that I buy. I don't let anything go to waste, so I don't really feel bad in that sense. Maybe the comment section will disagree with me, but we'll see about that. All right, question or step number 2. So number 2 is, do I want to keep this? And really, this only applies if you said no to the first question. At least for me, this just applies to little mementos or knickknacks that I've collected through the years, or maybe they're photos that I have lying around, or toys that I've had since I was a kid, but haven't really gotten the time to really sort through them yet. So, for example, I used to have a bunch of geography books and atlases down on this bookshelf, and that's because I used to be a huge geography nerd growing up. Fun fact, I used to be able to recite all of the capitals of all the countries in the world, and I still think I can recite a good amount to this day. Next shelf up, I have all the books from the Aragon series, Artemis Fowl, Percy Jackson. These are a lot of books that I read growing up, and now not so much, so I'll probably be sorting through them later on this month. As for toys, I have 2 of the 7 dwarves that my parents got for me when I was a kid on 2 different birthdays, and they're probably collector's items by now, so I can't really get rid of them at this point. And all these cabinets right here really hold a lot of space, and I used to have a ton of knickknacks in these, and now not so much, and it's probably because throughout the years I've been getting rid of stuff, and judging from the fact that I don't really remember what used to be sitting in here is probably a good sign that they didn't really make a big impact on my life. So it's good that I don't have them anymore. So with that, let's talk about step or question number 3. Alright guys, so now you're left with all the items that you use or you want to keep. So the last question we'll have to ask is how you want to store it. And I think it's cool with technology these days in that we have all these devices that can hold a lot of information in such a small package. For example, let's talk about all these photos and cards that I used to have on my bookshelves. These are all things that I do treasure from the friends and family that have given those to me, but I too also don't like seeing too many things around. So my solution was to scan them, and now they sit on my computer where I can look at them whenever I want to. Same thing goes for these 3 colored binders at the bottom of my bookshelf. These binders hold a lot of important documents that I need to keep around, and believe it or not, these 3 binders used to be 8 binders. And when I recently sorted through them, I discovered that about a third of them I didn't need to keep anymore. Another third I needed to keep in hard copy form. And another third I wanted to keep, but I didn't need to keep in hard copy form. So like the pictures, I decided to scan them, and now they sit on my computer too. And I feel the same goes for items that you keep on your desk. I could keep my computer, my iPad, my phone, and my watch on my desk, so they're easy to grab. Or because I like seeing a clean space, I could store them in these drawers or my cabinets, so I can have a nice clean working space. And with that, those are the 3 questions that I've been asking myself as I try to reduce the amount of stuff in my life. And hopefully if you're interested in also reducing the amount of stuff in your life, then you can follow the same steps and questions that I've been using. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't believe that there's a strict definition of what being a minimalist is, but really if you feel like all the stuff in your life is serving a purpose for you or for others around you, then in my opinion, it's all good. And with that pretty much is the end of the video. If you've seen some of the other videos that I've made so far, you know that I'm a fan of these kind of little creative edits that I like making. So if you've stuck around this long already and are interested in seeing it, then here you go. And if you were just interested in seeing the steps, then thanks, and go ahead and like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and of course comment with suggestions for me. All right, thank you.
Think I might be over my troubles since you came around. might be over my troubles.